Tony DeCicco came up to me before we went out to the middle of the field to kick these 5 penalty kicks. And he said, hey, you're going to take it with your left foot. And then he just like took off like the road runner, like dust behind him. Because I'd never taken a penalty with my left foot before in a game. I mean, I guess if you asked Tom Brady to throw all the passes with his left hand in the Super Bowl, I wonder if he'd say yes.
Games with Names is presented by WynnBET. Go get the WynnBET app right now.
July 10th, 1999. Rose Bowl Stadium, Pasadena, California.
With 120 minutes in the books.
The score is tied 0-0, 0-0. We're on to penalty kicks.
90,000 fans wash on the edge of their seats.
It all comes down to Brandi Chastain.
This is a 1999 Women's World Cup final.
Hello, and welcome to Games with Names presented by WynnBET. I'm Julian Edelman.
I'm Sam Morril, and we're on the quest to find the greatest games ever played.
And on today's episode, we're talking the 1999 Women's World Cup Final, USA versus China. And we'll be joined by Brandi Chastain, the infamous.
The famous image.
Famous image.
Shirt off.
Sports bra out. We have her on the board. Take a look.
Epic.
Unreal.
Soccer players are ripped, man. They're like kind of just all cut up.
They just run all day.
Yeah.
They're running all day. I think like 8 miles per game. They're just running. I've trained with a couple of these guys over at like the Exo Center back in the day. And they put these little heart rate monitors on, and they're like little Indy cars. It's crazy. They just run all day, and they have to analyze how much running they do to like make sure they don't blow a gasket, because they're like little fleas. They're just running all day long. Sprint, run. They're pretty immaculate athletes.
We'll check out what was going on in the world of July in 1999. We'll look at both these teams and their path to the finals, and we'll wrap it up by naming the game and scoring the match. Make sure to follow Games with Names on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at Games with Names. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen. Rate and review, and comment with the game you want us to do.
Why are we doing this match?
Pivotal moment in American history. I mean, women's soccer against a superpower. America versus China.
Yeah. And honestly, this is almost, because of the result of this game, I think America's gotten significantly better at soccer. Because in the 90s, no one, soccer was not it. You know what I mean? At the end of the night,
Not in America.
Not in America. None of our best athletes played. None of our best athletes were playing in the EPL, women or men. And then after this, like, it just jolted soccer throughout America. Everyone wanted to see him do well. Everyone had that lasting image of Brandi Chastain taking her shirt off, U.S. beating China, like mano. It was nuts.
It was nuts. And, look, China's still better at a lot of stuff than us. Sweatshops for underage workers. They would kill us. But when it comes to soccer, we have the edge.
Trash.
A
lot of trash over.
A lot of trash.
Don't they just dump trash into the water? They just
Yeah.
dump it into water.
Remember when they had like bloated pigs in the river in China? They were just like, oh yeah, we just have like fat pigs that have drowned, and we're like, I think you guys got some issues in the environment here.
Yeah.
This just turned into a China hate podcast.
No, we love China.
I felt the patriotism just take over me.
And that's what this game did.
Well, you think New York versus Boston is a rivalry? I mean, we go to Boston.
I don't know. I mean, it's China and Russia. It's China.
We got to do the
Russia.
miracle game at some point.
We will definitely have to do the miracle game,
Especially now, with tensions running high.
I mean, back in the day during the Cold War, you know what solved the Cold War?
What do you mean back in the day during the Cold War?
Well, I know now we got new Cold War, but Rocky IV, he settled it.
We got to get Stallone on here and do that movie. Just to get some good vibes.
We got to get something. I mean,
maybe Lundgren will come on here and talk about losing and do the Drago accent.
No. We're going with Rocky.
We gotta have both.
If we can get both, we get both. But
Jules, how many times have you watched that montage?
which one?
Rocky 4.
Oh, well, there's a couple in there. There's the montage of when, he tells Adrian he's leaving, he's going, and he gets in in his Ferrari, and he's like going through the time lapse of when him and Apollo became boys. And then there's the training montage in Russia. I mean, that's ultimately why I used to grow out my beard. It let everyone know. Remember, Rocky grew out his beard, didn't care about anything, moved away so no one could distract him. And that's where I used to grab that inspiration for the big beard of
Wow.
what I used to do. I just wanted to be like Rocky.
You have a better beard than Stallone.
I don't know. He's got one of those. He's got like a cool manicured beard. Mine's just like a bunch of pubic hairs that just grow.
No, dude, you don't have a pube beard. He's got I have a pube beard. This is a fucking beard.
It's a full. It's a full beard.
Yeah.
We'll go. It's a full beard.
Oh, it's full, dude.
You got a good stash though. I can see.
Decent stash.
It looks like a good stash.
But if it's just a stash, I look like it doesn't look right. I wasn't gonna say pedo, but I was like, my mind went there. Doesn't look good.
You look a little French.
French. This is the
Tall,
patriotic
handsome.
podcast.
Might be even worse.
I don't want to be called French.
But if like a little like lined up mustache, because you're like tall and handsome. Usually,
thank you, buddy.
Skinny guy. Skinny. That's like French to me.
I mean, I don't know. I just want to be American after this game. Brandi Chastain rules. And I will say this, soccer is not even in my top 4 favorite sports. I'm just not a soccer guy, but this game, watching it, it's crazy how intense soccer is, even when it's 0-0. Like, literally nothing happened. The whole game was like, almost. It's literally like going down to my ex. It was like 2.5 hours, and I was like, come on. And then at the end, I was like, yes! We did it.
Took you PKs though.
It's a few PKs.
Took you penalty kicks.
The PKs were badass.
It was insane. I'm not gonna lie. When we were doing the research of this, I got choked up. I had to leave the room. Sam was in there. Yeah. This is like, I got a little girl that plays soccer, and the whole time I'm sitting there and I'm watching, I'm like, this could be Lil.
She's got the genes, dude.
Yeah, we'll see. Those girls every one of those girls are like special. You got to be special to be that good.
For sure.
And I'm not saying my kid's not special, but I'm not taking anything away from those. Those are the most elite women athletes in the world.
It was crazy because I remember Mia Hamm from I remember like Sports Illustrated for kids.
Nomar, right? She was Nomar's wife.
Yeah.
Still married.
I see her as an independent woman and great soccer player, but that's cool that you can only connect to her through Boston sports.
Well, Boston. Hey, she was part of Boston legacy.
No, she was.
That,
She was, and she was awesome. And she was, I mean, you remember her from those because we're the same age. You remember Sports Illustrated for kids?
Everything.
Yeah.
They were
posters everywhere.
After
she was
this
an
game,
icon.
After this game, they were rock stars.
Yeah.
They were on every late night show. They were on everything to do with kids, adults. I mean, it was pretty risque and provocative to take your shirt off as a woman in the 1999 or the 90s. And it was pretty cool to see that, she got that clout for it. You know what I mean? She started it.
She did start it.
Remember they had the anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah, it was MJ and Mia Hamm.
Yeah.
That was was that Gatorade?
McDonald's? Gatorade?
Gatorade. That'd be so sad if it was like the two greatest athletes and they're just like, we eat McDonald's.
Well, back in the day, it used to be Jordan and Bird doing horse on McDonald's.
That was a good ad.
Those were great ads.
No, the Mia Hamm Jordan anything you could do, that was badass. That was like America. That was man, we were unified.
We were so.
That was pre-Twitter. That's when life was simple.
Actually, I don't know if we were that unified. I thought
we weren't. We weren't. But it felt more unified.
It did. We need some more World Cup victories.
We need a common enemy. That's what really it's all about. You come together. Like COVID, we drifted apart. But when it's another country, when it's a virus, we're like, fuck all of you. We handle the virus differently. But when it's another country, we're like, fuck that country. USA.
Yeah, I mean, I can't agree more. It's just unfortunate that we need something terrible for us to unite.
Well, maybe if aliens attack, we'll link up with Russia and China. Maybe we'll all team up. So,
What movie's that from?
I don't know.
Alien movie?
Every alien movie. We have to
Independence Day? Love Independence Day.
Yeah, Independence Day, Goldblum, Will Smith.
That's around this. No, that was
94.
Dang.
Yeah, I remember Will Smith just like punching the alien, like "Welcome to Earth," and I was like, "Yeah."
That was like such a little kid moment where you're like, man, I want to be Will Smith punching an alien in his face.
That was his breakout movie, right? Independence Day.
Yeah, 96.
96.
Fresh Prince to action star.
Action star. But let's go back to 1999. Speaking of Will Smith, the number one movie in America was Wild Wild West.
An epic turd of a movie. I think he turned down the lead in The Matrix to do Wild Wild West because they let him do the song too.
Yeah.
The song's all right, but Will Smith rap sucks. It was like, you know what it was like? It was like rap that your mom was cool with. That's how you knew it sucked. It's like when you want candy and she'd be like, "You can have an apple." That was Will Smith.
Not gonna lie, I used to love Summertime. That's when I knew it was summertime. Summertime. It was decent.
The Men in Black song was badass. I'll give you that.
The Wild Wild West one was pretty.
It was all right. It was better than the movie.
Yeah. What we got, Jackie?
The Burger King toys, and you could get the little glasses, the Wild Wild West Will Smith glasses.
Oh yeah.
What do those look like? I remember the hat.
Oh yeah.
Wild Burger.
Man, they knew how to appeal to kids. Dude, he could have been in The Matrix.
It's insane.
Can you imagine? He would have demanded they let him sing a song though. It would have been a Matrix song about like which pill he takes.
I take this pill and I go to this one, and then if I don't, I go to that one. Every day, don't you know what I mean? I'm just a white kid out of Philly.
That's pretty good.
What? Yeah, it was whatever.
Number one song, "If You Have My Love" by J-Lo. She performed this at the game.
Wow.
She was at the game. So
which one was
remember
this?
that with Star Power.
If you had my love, that one.
Gave you all my trust, would you comfort me?
Okay.
And call me baby.
And then she filmed the Let's Get Loud video at the game too. Let's get loud. You know that one?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a good song.
You know them all if you hear them.
Oh yeah.
No, that's pretty cool.
Around this time, Lance Armstrong won his first Tour de French.
Do you know Lance at all or no?
I do not. Do you?
No, I'd love to. I watched that doc. He seems like a psycho.
I don't know him.
Just the way he competed. Like they were all cheating. I mean,
Cool.
sure, he cheated more. I was about to say he had bigger balls, but
They probably all have smaller ones.
yeah.
We should get him on. I'd love to have him on the podcast.
I'd love Lance on.
We got to get Lance on. We want to hear your story, Lance.
Yeah, dude.
Pete Sampras defeated Andre Agassi to win Wimbledon.
Love Sampras.
Yeah, those were. I liked Agassi.
They were both cool. Sampras was married to Veronica Vaughn, though, from Billy Madison.
Oh yeah.
So hot. Want to touch the hiney. Classic.
Oh my God. She. Yeah.
That was, by the way, that was from Billy Madison. I'm not a pervert. That's a line from the movie. I was just saying that. But yeah, Sampras was the man.
Agassi.
Genie in a Bottle. That was number one. Christina Aguilera stayed number one for 5 weeks. Remember that song, Genie in a Bottle?
Yeah, that was on TRL all the time.
By the way, the lyrics to that song make no sense. You got to rub me the right way. I'm pretty sure if it's a genie in a bottle, you could rub it anyway, and it comes out. It's clearly about the clitoris. That song.
Clearly about something.
It's about something. It was a provocative. It was like the first song. I was like, what does that mean?
Was that? I still didn't know that. That's what that meant.
That was like you had to choose a side. You had to choose Britney or Christina, I feel like. And I kind of was leaning Britney a little bit.
Definitely Team Britney.
Britney was just, I didn't know how damaged she was either at the time. I didn't know how crazy her dad was, you know?
Absolutely not. But I went to like private school, and she was wearing that private school outfit. I was like, wow.
Oh my God. Oops, I did it again.
That was Baby One More Back.
Oh yeah,
Baby
yeah,
One More
yeah.
Time
Baby
or
One
something.
More Time, yeah. But then she did Toxic, and I was like, I love toxic women. I just connected to it.
It's
Britney was good, dude. Britney is good.
Britney, free Britney. Is she freed yet?
She's freed.
Good, we're freed.
Yeah.
And then speaking of the Matrix, it was released.
Yeah. That was first Matrix movie's incredible.
The best.
Incredible movie.
And then they got a little too like it's sci-fi, but then when it starts getting sci-fi in like other worlds and other dimensions, and like it's a little too sci-fi for me.
What, you mean the second and
The
third?
second and third.
Third one was weird.
And then the
Second-
new, I haven't
second
even
was
watched
still
the new
pretty
one.
Cool. Second, a good action. You haven't seen the new. I'm done. I don't like when they make a sequel like 20 years later. I'm like, we get it. It's been done.
100% agree.
And also-
Unless Top Gun.
Top Gun was good.
Top Gun
I saw it on a flight.
doesn't do it.
I know. I shouldn't have seen it on a flight.
You can't. You got to see it in the theater.
Top Gun. It bugged me a little bit though,
Why?
because we should have picked the country. We should have picked the country to hate. It was just like a generic war. We could have rallied. It could have been
Wasn't it
Russia.
Iran? It was Iran.
No, they never said. They played it safe.
Did they?
It should have been Russia.
You know why?
Why?
Money.
Money. There's more
International money. All these streaming services and everything, they're trying to dip in every single little market.
China's a big market, dude.
Huge market.
Yeah.
Napster was launched.
Napster was big.
Basically ruined like 7 of my parents' computers because of this. Literally.
I mean, Napster preceded like, LimeWire, because basically
It was first.
Yeah, no, Napster was
Yeah.
first. Yeah, I mean, and Napster, you get the music.
AirShare.
Dude, it was amazing. You were just like, oh, I don't have to pay for music anymore. This is going to be a problem.
I had 2 friends that got like in trouble because of it. Because if you did it on like a school network, that's how they would catch you. Like if you were at college or something and you were downloading music and everyone was sharing it, it was really illegal. 2 of my friends went down, like got like subpoenaed. Where
They're still in prison, dude.
No, but when they got a letter and it said like we're suing you for like $100 million, they ended up settling for like $5,000.
You're like, dude, we downloaded like 3 Madonna songs, $100 million.
No, I'm telling you, bro. Yeah,
$5,000 is still not nothing. That's
no
crazy.
That's a lot of money in 1990. It was like 2001, 2002, maybe. It was like probably like college. So it was going on for a while.
All I think about is in Social Network when Justin Timberlake is like, he's like when he's playing what's it?
Yeah, and he says, "Why don't you drop the?" And he's like, "The Facebook? I think you should drop the." Mike drops and leaves.
Yeah. Oh, and I love when he goes, $1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool? $1 billion. It's a good movie.
JT killed that role.
He killed it. That's one of the best movies of the last 20 years.
You can turn it on and still watch it all the time. It's one of those movies that you're like, and it connects with, I connect with it because a lot of it's in Boston and Palo Alto where I like grew up in both.
Right.
So like you see
Wow,
some of the
look at
areas.
that.
It's gnarly. Yeah.
Yeah, Sorkin, you never know what you're going to get, but when he's on, it's like John Starks. He's either going 2 for 18 or he's hitting 9 straight threes. I mean,
Yeah.
Sorkin, when he gets the heat check.
Who was the Zuckerberg character? What's his name?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, he killed that too.
Yeah, dude.
He was perfect for that.
Yeah, he was. It's weird. It's a weird compliment. You're perfect to play the most unlikable character in cinematic history.
But that was his role, and then
he
I loved
killed
him in Zombieland and shit too.
He's great.
He's a great actor. But like in that one, like he plays a nerdy, kind of dorky asshole very well.
And dude, Army Hammer
×2.
The Winklevosses.
Tarantino said it was the best, hands down, the best film of the 2010s.
Who said that?
Quentin Tarantino.
Really?
Yeah.
That's high praise.
Huge praise. Wow,
Damn.
it was that good. I love that movie.
Oh my god! Imagine making a movie that Quentin Tarantino says this is the best movie. That's so fucking cool. David Fincher, man, beast. One of the best.
Let's get into women's soccer in 1999. This was the 3rd Women's World Cup. 1999 was the first to feature 16 teams. Previous Women's World Cup, China in 1991, the U.S. won. In Sweden in 1995, the U.S. finished 3rd, and I believe the Chinese finished 1st.
4th.
Who won it?
Norway won that one.
Norway.
Damn.
He was one of those close to the Sweden teams that won. I wonder what the refs were doing in that series. Those Nordic team. What is that area called? Scandinavia. Beautiful area. Nice people. Great food.
Yeah,
Went to a burger joint in Copenhagen once called like the Gaslight Pub. Phenomenal.
Really? You will find a good burger.
I
anywhere.
love
You're like the
burger.
Burger King. You are like the Burger King.
I like to call myself the Socrates of burgers because I know my faults in grading burgers. I know that I'm wrong.
Because you don't like a huge patty?
It depends. It depends. that's why I am a little biased towards smash burgers, because that's what you get out in California. But I know that's my default. I know that's my bad judging style of it.
Yeah, you are a burger guy.
Love
for
burgers. Large venue, largest venue in the large venues in 1999 World Cup, Giant Stadium. Used to love the old Giant Stadium.
Hell yeah.
I feel like I get the same vibes of the Giant Stadium at the new Met. They like built it almost like the same, just it looks a little future-ier.
Yeah.
Like the openness of it, it was like pretty much the same.
It's such a pain in the ass to get to Jersey to go to a game.
Yeah,
It's so annoying. It's like same with Yankees games. You're like, Yankees games are even worse because that's like a 7-hour commitment if you take travel
The
into account.
Bronx. You got to take trains.
Well, of course you take trains, but even getting out of there, you're smushed on that
Yeah.
train. That's a tough. You factor in commute for all that stuff. Knicks and Rangers, it's the easiest. You're in and out. Shorter games, and you're in and out. But a Giants getting to Jersey, you're taking a weird bus. You're like, what am I going? What am I doing? What am I 80 and going to Atlantic City? This stinks.
I used to love it. Was such a cool entrance. We used to stay in like Jersey when we would play against the Giants or Jets, and you drive on what's that highway across? I think it's 95.
I think so, but I don't drive.
I don't know, but maybe. And you see the skyline of the city, and then you take a look at the left, and you see the dumpy marshes of the Meadowlands and that
dumpy, man.
big
It's
ass
Jersey.
stadium. You're like, where are we going? But it's cool. I loved playing in New York.
I love when Buffalo Bills fans are like, we actually play in New York. And I'm like, yeah, only 6 hours north from the city. You're right. Sorry, we're an hour in New Jersey, but
No, it's like right off. It's right there. Foxborough Stadium was there. The old Foxborough with the
classic.
bleacher stadium. They had the bleacher seats. They didn't have seats. Never saw that field. Soldier Field, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome venue. They redid that thing. I think they're going to redo it again. But I always enjoyed playing there. And then the Rose Bowl. I never got to play in the Rose Bowl.
It's class. I mean, this is our third episode on the Rose Bowl. What have we done? We did
We did Michael Irvin Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We did Phil Simms Super Bowl. Now we got this one.
love it.
Wow.
We got to do Texas USC soon.
I know.
Was that the Liner Vince Young one? Yeah, that's pretty badass.
That was like my dream place to play as a California kid growing up watching the Pac-10 at the time, not the Pac-12, the Rose Bowl. The electricity of the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
The grass always looked like it was just a little greener. The stadium was just a lot bigger, 90 plus thousand. Back in that day, it was huge. That's probably top 5. It was probably top 5 there. As far as professional stadiums, you get the college stadiums, they're putting like 110, 115. But as far as pro stadiums, well, it's not a pro stadium. It's UCLA
felt
plays
like
there.
one.
Yeah.
Speaking of annoying places to get to, they say it's a pain in the ass to get there.
Pasadena, take the 110. You might through downtown. See you later. Talk about traffic.
That is a really annoying place to get to.
That's what I've heard.
Pasadena's a cool city though.
It is
Just
cool.
A little too far. Just a little too far. The success of the 1996 Atlanta Olympics helped the U.S. push to land the World Cup bid. More than 76,000 fans attended the 1996 Olympic final in Athens, Georgia.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because a little clarity on that one. They said in the initial bid, they thought about playing it safe and just having like small cities on the East Coast host the 99 World Cup. And then they looked at that game. They were like, nah, we can sell out the big ones.
We can sell out the big
Coast to
ones.
coast,
You get
doesn't matter.
excitement and patriotism smashed together, man. Like a smash burger.
That's right.
99. What were we doing? I was 13. I was that was a big sports year for me because I was a Knicks fan. Yankees were great. Knicks were in the finals. They lost to the Spurs, but just being an 8 seed, getting to the finals that year. Bar mitzvah.
Yeah,
One eyebrow bar mitzvah, dude.
1999.
Sam, what was the best bar mitzvah gift?
Best bar mitzvah. I don't remember. I was a kid. I don't remember
Like
anything.
You have it in
right?
the city somewhere?
Yeah, cash is
Cash
the
is always the
gift.
best.
Cash is always the best. You get like a couple friends maybe come through with like an HMV gift certificate. Remember HMV?
What is that?
It was like almost like Best Buy before. You guys remember HMV?
No.
Maybe that was a New York.
New York thing.
Weird.
We had what was the one? Circuit City?
Yeah, that was a big one.
We had
Borders
Radio
was big.
Shack.
Yeah. Is Radio Shack dead too?
I think there's one still in my hometown. I don't know what they still sell.
Let me see. I just remember the second you got past like the first wave at Radio Shack, it got real deep real quick. You know what I mean? Like all the little wires and the parts and the build your own computer type shit.
Yeah.
Scary.
Mine was in Woodside Plaza, Redwood City. Go over there.
What was 13-year-old Julian like?
That was like a tough time for me because that's when kids were hitting puberty and I wasn't. I was like, when I was playing sports, after like I was 12, that's when like, kids started growing. I didn't. So I was like, the chip on my shoulder was getting bigger and bigger. I'd get pissed off more, get that little man syndrome a little bit. I was playing sports, playing football, baseball, basketball, just doing that.
Hell yeah.
I don't really remember anything else.
But you came on strong in puberty. You came on strong for the Patriots.
We came on strong.
You came on strong.
Yeah, it was a huge part of, what I became because of that time in my life, experiencing that. A lot of fighting. Fought a lot.
Yeah.
Stupid, yeah. I had an older brother who was like
you could
7.
fight though, I bet.
An older brother that was 7 years older than me. I used to whoop my ass all the time. And so like when a guy tried to like bully me because I was like 6 inches shorter than him, I just punch him. It was one of those things. So I don't know.
You could throw down, I bet.
I got my ass beat a lot. Sam Alapate. He beat the shit out of me.
Hope you're listening, Sam.
No, he's a good friend. I love him to death. We grew up playing football together since we were 8. Went to high school together. Popped off him wrong once. He ended up stuffing me in a locker and beating the crap out of him.
Stuffed you in the locker?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you were tiny.
I was tired. I was tiny. That was in high school. That was like my freshman year.
Did he close the locker door on you?
No, he was just like slamming the locker in my head, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, nothing bad.
Still love you, Sammy. How you doing? Let's talk about this matchup. The USA. Coach Tony DeChico.
Yeah.
Tony DeChico. Notable names, Mia Hamm. We all know Mia.
Legend.
We know Brandi Chastain, who's going to be joining us. Julie Foudy. Christine Lilly. Insane header to save the game at the end. And then Brianna Scurry, goalkeeper.
Oh, my God. Scurry Spice. She ruled.
Dude.
I mean, that save she had was like...
Yeah, that set the tone. That's the win.
That one, everyone talks about, Brandi, but... And as they should, but there's no goal without that save.
The goalkeeper's got to get one. Everyone else got to make them. It's a team effort. It was an unbelievable team effort. The path to the finals, they won all 3 group stage game ones, 13-3 goal differential. Jeez, that's domination. Their group consisted of Nigeria, Denmark, and North Korea.
Sorry, North Korea. Guess you couldn't hang with the big girls.
That was a different time when we were actually having them compete at that time, right?
Dude.
I don't think they compete anymore, do they? They still they throw a couple in there? Do they give them like a different name now? Like kind of like Russia? Russia's not Russia. They're like team of...
They go by NK.
Yeah.
We're like, what does that mean?
I think it's like, Korea, like People's Republic at the end.
See? Yeah. I knew. Different name. Different name. The knockout stage, they beat the Germans 3-2 and beat Brazil 2-0. Brazil, they love that soccer out there.
Yeah, that's a tough... as far as soccer goes, it's a tough country.
Very. I mean,
I feel like Germany's tough always too.
Always.
In soccer.
But different. Like I would say Germans are usually like technically like insane and strong, very strong players.
Don't take no for an answer.
So I'm like, and then the Brazil.
Don't back down even when they're told to.
Sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
We won't get into that. But the Brazilians, they were always like the prettiest when it came to like athleticism and like Pele being able to, you know what I mean? They were just always the rad athletic team. So yeah, game versus Germany was the closest call. Brandi had a own goal. Ooh, that's not good. And was down 2-1. Brandi redeemed herself, scores game tying goal.
Got to do that.
Got to. And then what do you got, Jackie? I see you leaning in. What do you got?
No, I was just gonna say she redeemed herself with that awesome goal in like the top of the net
Yeah.
volley action.
Jeez. That's the way to do it. If you're gonna make a mistake, you got to make up for it. That's why she was either the captain. They were all, was there captains?
Let me take a look real quick.
The way she's like, I was watching some interviews with her. She just sounds captainy.
Yeah.
You know, she's just a good, great teammate.
I resent that Julian read the Team USA, so now I have to take a shot at China. This is going to be rough.
That's called the old Jedi mind trick.
Coach, quick disclaimer, bear with us on the pronunciations. This is going to be rough. Coach Shui Kingjia. That's close enough, right?
I thought that was
all right.
Yeah, I should call up my agent, Don. We should have got Don for this explanation. That's right, Don. I'm sorry. I should have took some more time about this.
This was a powerhouse team, 12-2 goal differential in the group stage. Just like the U.S., they dominated their way to the finals. They had beaten the U.S. twice that year in the lead up to the World Cup. Some of the notable names: the striker Sun Wen won the tournament's Golden Boot Award, scored 7 goals on the way to the finals. I mean, unreal. Wang Luping, Wen Lirong. I don't know why I'm doing it with like it's British or something. That was terrible. Liu Ailing. Now I'm going too American. Zhao Lihong, the midfielder.
I thought you did pretty damn good there.
That was all right. Oh, why are you giving me more names? What the hell? Damn it, Jack.
Gao
doing your
Hung.
damn research.
Gao
What
Hung.
the hell are you doing to me?
Gao Hung.
Gao Hung.
You survived the gauntlet there, bro. That was
Gao
good.
Hung. It's a good porno name.
She was
if
a
you're man.
badass too. Gao Hung, the goalie.
Mind games.
I'm Gao Hung.
It'll be interesting to get Brandi Chastain's, what she thinks about Hung, because I guess previously Hung got her.
Yeah.
What game was that?
They say
Jack?
she hung her out to dry.
Literally and figuratively.
All right.
I think that was in it was either the Algarve Cup or the friendly that we played with.
Yeah. They had a
he got it in
PK.
his head, yeah. Let me look into that.
She went wide right. She's a really good goalie.
Path to the finals. They won all 3 group stage games. Started out with Sweden, which I think of as a good soccer country as well. Australia, obviously great. Ghana. These are all, you think of as this tough soccer team. Ghana, you think of soccer and chocolate. That's what they're known for, right?
They have chocolate.
I think chocolate's from Ghana.
Oh, cocoa. Maybe the cocoa bean.
Yeah. Knockout stage, beat Russia. Someone had to. Someone had to take
Smoked.
Russia out.
Smoked Norway.
Wow, they
5-0.
messed Norway up. The U.S. WNT versus China rivalry. Played each other 18 times in 97-98. U.S. won 10. 1995 World Cup Group C matchup was 3-3 draw, during which China came back from a 3-1 deficit. That's
Tough.
pretty annoying.
Tough team.
They just don't
They
die.
don't give up.
Yeah.
They don't give up.
Face each other in the third place game, which US WNT won 2-0. 96 in Atlanta, the first time women's soccer was played in the Olympics. US beat China 2-1 in the gold medal game on the home soil. And then 1999 pre-World Cup, China already beat the US twice, 2-1 at the Algarve Cup and 2-1 at Friendly.
I mean, in China's defense,
This is how it starts, dude. You're sounding like a traitor.
No, I'm just saying. In China's defense, you got to look. You got to look at both sides. All these games took place. A lot of them took place on U.S. soil.
Yeah.
No home field.
Yeah.
You know,
I think great teams should be able to adapt.
that's
And
true.
China didn't. China
Not quite.
failed.
The game, the lead up to the World Cup, the tensions between the two countries were already high, following the U.S. mistaken bombing of the Chinese embassy. The Chinese embassy in Belgrade.
Oh my God, that's like, I mean, this doesn't happen in American matches. And it's never like, he bombed Oklahoma City.
No.
It's like, this is like actual tensions in the world.
A lot of tension.
Do you think they're doing that in the locker room? You think the Chinese coach is like, they attacked us? You know what I mean? Like, dude,
Bulletin board material, you never know.
it is bulletin
Sometimes
board.
you need some bulletin board material. The U.S. mostly dominated this rivalry since 1999. Packed stadium, wild environment, 90,000 fans, J-Lo performing. Neither team could find the back of the net. Both teams had some very close chances, but it ended in a 0-0, or should I say a 0-0 tie.
It's crazy that soccer can just end 0-0.
Yeah. But they got
crazy.
PKs and they got extra time. Not in a World Cup final that they can't, end at a 0.
It doesn't get
It
more
technically
dramatic.
ends as 0-0 and you don't get the goals, right?
Right.
Right. Wow.
I mean, it doesn't get more dramatic than penalty kicks.
No, but before penalty kicks, you have overtime, which are 2 15-minute periods, not sudden death, not first goals wins, right? It just goes.
Yeah, no golden goal.
Both scoreless, no golden rule. That's a FIFA. I see you right there. It was hot as hell this day in the Rose Bowl, 100+ degrees in Los Angeles on July 10th. Low humidity though, beautiful weather. Penalty kicks, U.S. made 5 of the PKs.
All 5.
China missed their third PK, or should we say scurried that ball right out. And that was against Lu Ying. I feel bad for her.
Oh, it's gotta hurt.
That's gotta hurt. You think she goes back to the country? Like that's devastating to be. I'll put something in perspective. It wasn't necessarily a World Cup final, but in a Frosh-Soft championship game, on the last play, I went back and was playing safety. I picked the ball, and I was going to stay up, and the guy who I picked the ball from took the ball from me with time expiring. And scored, and they won.
Oh my God!
Scored, and they won. It's on there somewhere on the internet. It was pretty devastating. So I can only imagine how she felt with the World Cup.
One time in Naples, Florida, I bombed for a full weekend, and an old man came up to me and told me I wasn't funny. So I can relate.
Fuck that guy.
I can relate to that pain too.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
The things we remember, obviously, the sports bra moment, right?
Yeah.
That was like huge.
Iconic.
The penalty kicks and the aftermath of the success for these women all throughout the country, all throughout everywhere in the world, just getting all these little U.S. American girls fired up, making us huge, making us the biggest, baddest U.S. women soccer team of all time. Let's go to the gaming corner presented by WynnBET.
Yeah, what do we do? What's a good prop bet for Brandi? What do you think?
What is 99ers? That's
what they call this team. They call them the 99ers.
I don't like that one.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be sports bra related.
Yeah, but that could sound kind of...
I know dudes saying that.
Yeah.
Damn it, this climate that we're living in.
It can't. How many times we could mention head coach Tony
DeChico.
DeChico?
He had
DeChico's mustache?
It was a legendary stash.
Yeah, but that's also kind of pervy.
Yeah.
Is it not? You
Yeah,
can't
it's
be
just
talking mustache.
nothing sounds good right now. What are we thinking? Any good? He does.
Dude has a pretty gnarly stash.
He does have a porn stash.
Burt Reynolds.
Kyla, what do we got? What are you thinking?
How many times we can say iconic? Then we're just rubbing it in her face.
Jeez, we're really struggling with this one here.
Any thoughts over there by the peanut gallery?
The amount of times we can say "suck it, China." How about that?
I like that.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
3.5? 2.5. 2.5. We'll go 2.5.
We can easily hit that.
That seems very reasonable.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Should we do 2.5?
Well, we'll see, because we've said this about other win bets before, and it never, sometimes the vibe of the interview's not there where you can just go out and say "suck it, China," but we'll try it.
I got a feeling the over is cashing with ease today. 2.5. All right.
All right, we'll be joined by Brandi Chastain after this quick break. You like the NFL?
I do.
Well, me too. Download the WynnBET app today. When you sign up and use the promo code XGWN, when you bet $25, you'll get 50. That's free money. Offers subject to change and terms and conditions at WynnBET.com. Must be 21 or older to participate. And thank you, Brandi, for joining us. I'm Julian.
I'm Sam. Nice to meet you, Brandi.
Pleasure's mine.
And it's an absolute honor to have you on our podcast. But before, let's get through some of these accolades that Brandi has. I mean, she's clearly an icon. We've seen her on every sports magazine. We've seen her on every late night show, commercial, especially in our age group, because we're both 36. This was a huge time of our life. You're an Olympic gold medalist. You're a World Cup gold medalist. You played 20 years, almost 20 years professionally, and you're a member of the California Hall of Fame, something that, one day I hope I can get in. Maybe probably not. More of a Boston guy now, I guess. But
And you're on our wall right here.
and you're on our wall. We have you
Yeah.
on our wall,
Wow.
loud and proud.
I appreciate that. I have been in love with soccer for 45 years, and it was, quite, this is a cliche, obviously, but it was love at first kick for me. I signed up. We didn't have anything to do with soccer. It just came to our neighborhood. My parents and I went down, signed up, had no idea what it was. And literally I got my gear, because then you didn't have to try out. It was like you got put on a team. I went to bed in it. I had my soccer ball, went out to the first practice, done. That was like, I knew I was doing this thing. I did other sports, and I loved other sports. I love all sports. I actually thought I was going to play in the NFL because that's all I saw on television. My dad watched it. My grandparents watched it. My godfather played for the Packers and the Rams back in the leather helmet days.
Wow.
And I love football. I just didn't know it was going to be my football. I
Yeah.
fell in love with the most. So, yeah. So as for coaching, I just feel like there's, the game gives me such joy, and it ticks all the boxes for me, whether that's all the senses, whether that's the competition, whether that's the challenge every day, whether it's the highs and the lows. I mean, I've had 2 ACL reconstructions, and I was out college soccer for 2.5 years. I was on a World Cup team and a World Cup champion, then cut from the team and away from the team for 4 years, and had to make my way back. And so, I've had my position change. It's like if someone said, okay, Julian, you're going to go from, maybe it's not a stretch for, you could go from a wide receiver or a slot player to a DB or a safety. You could do that. You wouldn't think about doing that because that's not your primary position, but maybe you could, because you have a lot of tools that you used against them. And so for me, that was, I kind of resurrected my career by playing now on the defensive side of things when I started my career as an attacker. So I feel I have a good, well-rounded perspective on, what it's like to be every player on a roster. I feel like I have a good perspective on, playing on both sides of the ball. I love the transition moments. You guys don't have a lot of transition moments in American football, but I love transition moments from attacking to defending to attacking. And I think in those moments, the most mentally capable are the teams and players that will win games and be most successful. And so I love those moments the most. And I love the skills. I love the mastery. I love the poetry and the grace that comes along with the game. And I want to give that to our players. And it's not about winning at all costs. It's about winning with the value of the game and the beauty of the sport, and why the fans pay a lot of money that they worked really hard for. And so I want to deliver what they deserve.
Wow.
That's awesome. You feel the passion.
Oh, that's the number one thing you always, the number one thing that I always found with the best coaches that I were around was passion.
Yeah.
You have to have that, and that's second to none. But you got to take us back, Brandi, to 1999. What was it like for you? Like before the games and the World Cup started like the narrative going in. You guys been battling with China. You lost to them, you know, previously in the, what is it? The Arcata or the
Algarve Cup.
Algarve Cup. And you had, you know, you missed one of the PKs against Hung, you know, going into this.
Yeah.
So like, what was your guys' mindset going into this? Like, were you guys were obviously one of the favorites, but being that target, you always have to have something in your mind, like to not believe the hype. Like, what was that message going into this World Cup?
Well, we had a lot of messaging that was floating around in you know, the ecosystem that was outside of our team. And I'm sure you can appreciate this. And I think, Sam, for you too, it's like, you know, you're always going to have your critics, right? You're going to have people who either don't believe
I don't know what you're talking
believe.
about. I've looked at YouTube comments and everyone likes me.
Okay, sorry. So then you can just sit there idly quiet and on your
No,
throne
of course,
and
yeah.
be very comfortable. No.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, honestly, there was two messages that were going around us, which we worked incredibly hard to filter from the things we needed versus the things that were in existence. So number one was the future of women's soccer as a whole, globally. If the US didn't win this World Cup, would basically just go. And that was because we pushed, you know, as we do here in America, we push the envelope. You know, we say we want big events. We watch Super Bowls in massive stadiums, and we believe that women's soccer deserved that platform. This was the World Cup. It wasn't some small, you know, high school soccer tournament that was going to be played in the Northeast, which is what they wanted to do. They wanted to put it in like college type, you know, small, like Tufts University, or, you know, with 5,000 to 10,000 seats. And our group of leaders said, no, we're not going to do that. And so they pushed for playing in the Meadowlands and playing at the Rose Bowl and playing in all the stadiums in between. And so with that came the responsibility of filling those seats. And it was, you know, it's over 1 million seats that you had to fill over the course of the tournament. And so that message was looming large. Dark clouds and Darth Vader, kind of like the future of women's soccer, you know, kind of thing. And so there was a lot of pressure in that way. But to, I think, another message, which was, you know, we knew what we could control. We knew the type of team we had. We have proven before that we have championship pedigree and we understand how to win. And so, you know, we had that on our side. So we had that great messaging. And then we had this responsibility to your daughter, so that when she was going to be born some 20 something years later, that she would have a place that would be of equal access for her to play. And so, you know, that was a lot. And so, you know, when we went through that tournament, there was a lot of interesting twists and turns along the way that made it very exciting.
That's really crazy and cool and also really fucked up that you have this pressure on you for your whole gender. Yeah, I think about like when I started stand up, I'd know female headliners, and there'd be some of these like old school bookers who were like, oh, if they don't do well, like that's it for women for a few months, you know? So that's really messed up that you had this kind of pressure on you, but it's pretty damn cool that you delivered. I mean, you have all these great players on this team, all these, you know, big names, but you seem tight. Was ego not an issue at all for this team?
You know, I feel like everybody had their, you know, you have to bring that to the field, right? Because when you show up against the best in the world, you have to believe that you're great enough. You're not just good, you're great enough to do this. So, you know, we had that, but the beauty of this team and the leadership in Tony DeCicco and our captains, Carla Overbeck and Julie Foudy, and our leaders that didn't wear the captains on their armband were so in tune with the objective. And the objective was to win, and to be successful in winning. Everybody had to be embraced. Everybody's role was important. Didn't matter if you played 90 minutes, half a game, 10 minutes at the end. You never came off the bench. Everybody contributed to the outcome. And I believe because we had this, there was a saying called wholesome discontent at practice. Shit, Julie Foudy and I would be having a WWE match going on. The ball could be on the other side of the 4v4, and we would be wrestling. And then the practice would end, and we'd be laughing, and we'd be like literally like arm in arm and laughing off the field. So we had a really great respect for each other. We had a trust in one another. We knew that we were all there for the same purpose and the same objective. And I will say that it was a different time, Sam. There was no social media. It was barely the time when people were starting to use cell phones that weren't like, you didn't have to carry it over your shoulder and like a brick. And so, we got to be present a lot. We got to be with each other, and there was not as many external factors that could derail anybody. I think this is the greatest challenge now. It's that everybody is camera ready. Everybody is in the moment. I'm going to make a deal. And, the way I see it is if you do your job and you do it in a way that shows your care and the respect and the responsibility to your team, the fans, the game, things will come your way. Things will come your way. So I think we had a really special time and a very special group.
You guys prepare to play in front of 90,000+.
How do you do that? We didn't really know how to do that. I mean, that's an interesting comment, because when you don't get to play in front of those big crowds, it's like, it is really interesting how to prepare for that.
How did you prepare for it?
We trained in the Orlando area, and we would go over to the Orange Bowl, and I think it was the Orange Bowl, and we'd have a practice every now and again, and our coach Tony would make them put on just this most atrocious noise. So you couldn't hear anything, and it was just like oppressive, and you're playing in 95 degree heat with like almost 100% humidity, and you're just suffering, right? You're like, it's the worst. It's the best of the worst, right? It's the best opportunity, but you're getting like brutalized by noise and heat, and you're being challenged by the best players in the world. I think that's the thing we had in our favor. If there's anything I could say about what we got to experience, is that we played against each other every way in such a positively competitive environment that every other team seemed like it was going to be a relief to play Brazil, even though it wasn't, or China or Germany, because we just worked the hell out of each other every single day. Iron
sharpens iron. I mean, I can remember vividly anytime we would get ready to play in Arrowhead or Seattle, these significantly louder stadiums that were built for it, we did the same exact thing. Coach Belichick would throw on the noise. We'd have to work on our nonverbal communication. If it was a time where we were playing in Miami and it was 30 degrees in Foxborough, he put us in the bubble, and he'd turn up the heat as hot as he could, and then he would spray the walls down, so we would try to get that humidity, making practice way harder than what you did for the game. So that's awesome.
Amazing. So I want to ask you, Bill Clinton was in the crowd. How crazy is that playing for the president?
It is remarkable the amount of people that came to that game, 90,000 plus, and the president, Miss Hillary Clinton, and their daughter Chelsea were there, and we didn't know that before, so that was a big surprise. And just as it was a surprise to have Arsenio Hall come into the locker room, it was interesting to meet the president, and it was all on the up and up. Pictures and just some fun and just some gratitude about, from their perspective of what we gave to the country in terms of the excitement and the ability to cheer on something, but, something bigger than ourselves. And for us to think, holy cow, this is really way bigger than we ever thought possible. So it was a hell of an afternoon.
So you guys have played this Chinese team a few times. I believe your guys' record, you guys played 18 times. You guys had 10 wins against them. You guys went back and forth. They were pretty good. What were their strengths, and what was the game plan going into the game when you play a team that you're pretty familiar with because you guys played them a bunch? You know, was there a wrinkle that you guys threw in there, or was there something different that you guys were going to do, or was it just like, we're going to beat them because we're just better?
Well, you know what? I would like to say that we had some grand scheme, but I don't really think there was anything that was so different from what we did. I think it was, we're going to rely on the things we can control, as you can understand. But I think, being in this massive environment, unlike any other World Cup that existed, I feel like we had a slight advantage in two ways. One, it was a home game. It was in the U.S. and, at the Rose Bowl, which we know is like historically where all these incredible big games happen. So we were, we kind of had this hometown feel in the sea of 90,000. But I think also on the mental side of things is that, we knew that we could, on a day like today, just come out and impose our will upon them. But the beauty and the grace of China, and you ask, what were they good at? Incredibly technical in small spaces, and their off the ball movement. And you could probably understand this from a basketball perspective. It's like the Golden State Warriors, right? They just move off the ball so well. It's like, it's hard to keep track of where they are. And so that was exhausting mentally. So it was a good thing that, mental focus and fortitude was a part of probably our skill set that set us apart. And both of the teams bent a lot. And we had, some interesting moments that I'd be really happy to share with you during that game that really pushed us to the limit and literally almost put us to the breaking point. But we just wouldn't break, and neither would they in regulation. And so that's, I think, what made the penalty kick situation so exciting, was that it was a hell of an intense game from the first whistle to the 120th plus minute in 100 plus degrees. And it was not for the weak, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I just off the top of my head, Lily had that header that, like, you're like, oh shit, we almost got that in. Then you had that slide tackle in, it was the 89th, where they were trying to get it out in the middle of the field, and you slid tackle and got it out. Like, there was just so many almost breaking points. What were some of the ones that you said you wanted to discuss?
Yeah, I think the Christine Lilly one is probably the most impactful, in a story that I think everybody can really embrace, whether that's in sports or in their regular life. We all get bogged down with details, right? And we know that the devil's in the details. If you don't do the details right, the big picture goes away. And so Christine is the Cal Ripken of women's soccer, or sports, really. She's played more international games, where she's right there in Boston. So shout out to my girl, Christine Lilly.
Let's go. Boston, stand up.
She's played 354 times for the U.S. national team. And at that point, her job was to stand inside the near post to protect that area, so Brianna Scurry, our goalkeeper, could, on corner kicks, Bry's like a predator. The ball comes in there and she's going to just gobble it up, right? There's no one who's better at getting the ball out of the air than Bry was. And so in what was called golden goal at the time, which meant if anybody scored, the game would be over in the overtime back then, China had a corner kick, and they played the ball to the far post, and their player out-jumped ours and headed the ball back. And you see Brianna Scurry just dive as far as she could. And she had super long arms and really big hands and was exceptional. And the ball just literally went right past her fingertips. And there's Christine Lilly jumping up to head the ball out. And I get chills thinking about it because, this is a player that, again, has more experience than anybody in the world. Could have easily said, you know what, I've never had to make a play in this position in practice or in a game before, and I see some danger in an area that I'm big, I should go out there. but she respected and honored her role and the responsibility of being in that position, even though she's never made a play. And so because of that, the game went on. She headed it, I cleared it, people kind of gave an ooh, and then the game just went fast forward. But without that relationship of understanding to the details, we wouldn't be having this conversation, because we wouldn't have won the championship. And so I think that's one of the most phenomenal things that I've seen. And it seems so subtle and it seems so mundane. And I think a lot of people overlook the details because they're like, it doesn't matter. But they matter more than anything. And Christine Lilly proved it that day.
Big time players make big time plays in big time situations. And when you watch this game, like you said, you saw it from multiple different players throughout the game. That's pretty insane to hear that they never really practiced that. She's never had that play, but to have that, what is it, savviness or that ability to do your job. I mean,
and to be in the right place.
But that's probably where, like Brandi says, that's where she was coached to be. It's not the sexy spot to be where you want to be on there,
right.
But she was there and she made a big time play. Any crazy plays that like no one really talks about?
Yeah. I mean, I think one thing was, Michelle Akers. She is like, she's a legend. She has been a force in women's soccer right since the beginning and since the first international game in the mid 80s. And, here she is, she's battling some personal issues physically. And, she just would give every single ounce of her being to just dominate the field that is super big. I mean, you guys play on a 100-yard field by 50 yards, and our field is 75 by 120, and it's monstrous. And she just worked her tail off every game, and she threw herself into every tackle. And she gets, she puts herself in harm's way to make plays all the time. And that ended up happening in this game where she and Brianna came together and she gets knocked out of the game. And that could be a turning point. And I think most teams suffer failure in that moment, because whether it's a mental letdown or it's just, you just don't have the players to fulfill the role anymore, right? You got this legend in this position. And I think that was the depth of the women's national team is testament to its success. I think the mentality of, here we are, we got our backs up against the wall, in the game against China, who undoubtedly is, one of the best and vying to be the best in the world. And now we're going to have to do it without Michelle. And so I think the strength of the team was its brilliance and its belief in each other. And, you do your job and half of somebody else's. That's how you have to do it every day. You don't just show up and do the smallest amount possible. You have to do your job to the most robust potential you can. And then you have to get outside of your own sphere and eke into your teammates around you. And how can you help them be their best too? So I think that was a turning point that I think other people may have looked at and said, oh, that's going to be some severe trouble. But this team just persevered. And that was a moment I think we could all be really proud of.
Well, we've talked about it before, earlier, but I mean, the shape you guys have to be in for a game like this, how gassed were you when the clock hits 120 and were you like, holy shit? Like, were you amped up for the penalty kicks? Were you like, this is, how are we going to pull this one out? Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, I think, honestly, I think a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think you're physically drained. It's like you have no fluid left in your body. You're just like, you can't take enough in, right? So you're gulping down water and electrolytes, and you got an ice towel on your head, and you have someone shaking your legs and rubbing them because you're on the verge of getting a cramp like every time you move. And so I think there was a little bit of concern about that, but I think there was also this great understanding that we've got the best goalkeeper in the world. And, we have practiced and we have imagined this moment many times over. This wasn't going to be the first time we looked at this. and we were as prepared as we could ever be. And the beauty of, what I love about the sports and these opportunities is they're like tests in school. And I wish I had this mentality when I was a younger person in education, because if I had, I probably would have got better grades. But, tests are just an opportunity to see what you know, right? Just to put into practice what you've been doing every day. And so we were really excited about this opportunity, to be honest with you. So we were high we're excited, and we were like, holy cow, that was exhausting. And we knew that to perform at our best, we had to have this, Sam, you'll really enjoy this term. I'm sure you're going to use it at some point in your future, maybe optimal arousal. We needed optimal arousal.
I didn't jump on when you said fluids before. I want that on the record. All right. I'm not that immature.
Yeah. So you need optimal arousal, right? You need to be up enough, but not too high, and not, tamp down too much that you don't really care. So we were just finding that perfect spot to just be ready to do what we needed to do.
Yeah.
And what people don't realize, and I it's different, but it's still, playing in the Super Bowl like this, like the World Cup final. It's not just the exhaustion from running. It's the lead up, the media, the emotional exhaustion that you have. Like, I could only imagine at this point, like, I remember anytime we played in the Super Bowl, after the game, you're just so spent because you're going that much harder. There's no next game in, so-called whatever. There's no next game. You've been dealing with a bunch of outside noise for like the last whatever many days, weeks, leading into this. And then, with the physical exhaustion, it's just, I couldn't imagine having to go out there, take a second, and then all of a sudden go out and have to focus up and have that optimal arousal, level-mindedness to go in and make these PKs. The save by Scurry, how big was that? I mean, did you guys know she was going to get one? You knew she was going to get one.
Brian is such an incredible competitor. And like I said already, just her physical capacity was incredible. She just was long and just had the spring in her legs to just explode to the ball. And, and she just has this look every now and again in her eye, and you're like, oh, I am not messing with that lady. Like that, she means business. So, she had a tough job, because as we know, the kicker, it's really a kicker's game to win or lose. It's not a goalkeeper's game to win or lose, because the likelihood of making a save is fairly low. Players will miss the goal more than a goalkeeper will save the ball. So when she did that, obviously that solidified the fact that we would win the World Cup. I think it eased everybody's mind, the fourth and fifth kicker, especially for me. I knew that as I walked up, even though I had missed one earlier, as you said, against Gao Hong in China in March of that year, you don't experience this for yourself in football, but if you ask Tom Brady, maybe he would give a different answer. Tony DeCicco came up to me before we went out to the middle of the field to kick these 5 penalty kicks. And he said, hey, you're going to take a kick. And I said, yep, I already talked to the assistant coach, Lauren Gregg, and we discussed it, and I'm ready. In the run of play, I would have taken a penalty kick for our team anyway. So I felt like it was kind of an odd question, but, in pressure, sometimes people get a little nervous. So maybe they say things that they're not really thinking about or whatever. And so I just said, yep, I'm ready to go. And he goes, okay, good. You're going to take it with your left foot. And then he just like took off like the road runner, like dust behind him. And I say that because I'd never taken a penalty with my left foot before in a game. And so, I mean, I guess if you ask Tom Brady to throw all the passes with his left hand in the Super Bowl, I wonder if he'd say yes. I don't know. Or maybe one pass, maybe.
Would you ask Steph Curry to take a game-winning free throw lefty?
Didn't
It's weird.
Larry Bird, didn't he?
He would do it.
He played left-handed one time.
But that was more like him just shit-talking. That was more Bird just being a troll.
It was like a regular season game.
Yeah.
It wasn't the World Cup final, and you have to seal it.
I mean, that's
So-
when he said that, were you like, what the fuck are you doing to me?
Well, I like, you know, to your question initially, it was just, there was so much like that exhaustion that there was not enough room to be thinking about why was this happening. It was just
Trained.
it was just information.
Trained.
It was just information, and you're just going to go out and do it. And I mean, I'd done it many, many, many thousands of times before, maybe hundreds of thousands of times in training, but just not in the final or in a game. So, you know, what I knew in that moment, and I believe this is where sports is our greatest asset for young people in teaching them self-awareness and teaching them self-esteem and confidence. And sometimes things aren't going to go your way, but it's okay. And that there's going to be people who are going to have your back, and, you know, you got to get up and try again. Is this trust, right? So Tony brought me back to the national team after I was off the team for 4 years, and he put me in the position of the left back, which is the left defender. And I never played defender in my career, so I was only a goal scorer. I was purely wired to score goals and to be competitive in front of the net. And he said, we want to change the way we do things, and we want your skill set of being comfortable and confident on the ball in the back of our field. And so in that moment, I had a decision to make, which was say yes or be too prideful and say, hey, I'm a forward. You need me as a forward. And I think because I took on the opportunity to kind of resurrect my career and play a defender, I trusted when he said to me, hey, I want you to do this. And so I feel like these are the kinds of lessons we learn in sports. And I've been learning them since I was a little kid, and sometimes the hard way. The very hard way. But, you know, I think in that moment, I felt really confident and comfortable that he knew what the right thing was, and I just had to execute.
Man, I just get chills. Like we do a lot of research for a lot of these preps for, you know, all our interviews, and I'm not gonna lie, this one hit me. You know, I almost I had to leave the room. I didn't want people thinking I was, you know, tearing up, because, you know, that's a once in a lifetime thing that probably every kid, not just girls or every kid dreams about this situation if you play this sport. You know, it's just like, I had the opportunity to go out and catch a game-winning touchdown in a Super Bowl. Like, these are like things that, and it just rose the neck hair off my back, because I have a little girl too. I'm sitting here like, this could be her. You never know. Like, you know.
Yeah, why not?
So,
Why not?
But going into this kick, did you know her tech? Like, I heard that you didn't want to look at her. You didn't want to give her no insight. You know, was that it? Or because would she just stare you down? Like, that's such a duel thing, like a Western. You guys over here about to get ready to duel.
If they made this into a movie, though, they'd go good, the bad, the ugly style, and they go like I, right? But
oh yeah.
But in real life, you got to not give her anything, right?
Well, because, you know, earlier in the year, as we talked about, you know, we lost to China in the Algarve Cup final, and I had a penalty. And as I took the ball from the referee and I put it down and I stood up, there was Gao Hong. She was standing right in front of me. And she's a quirky character, as most goalkeepers are. They'll admittedly say that. And she smiled and winked. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like, get the hell, you know, get on the line. And as I backed up and the referee blew the whistle, I hit it pretty good, and it hit the crossbar, it went out, and we ended up losing the game. And so the only thing going through my head as I'm making my way from the midfield to the referee with the ball was, don't look at the goalkeeper. And I think in so many of these moments, and, you know, if I were to partake in sharing any advice with anybody who's getting ready to make a big presentation or their first presentation at work, or, you know, getting up to hit as the last out in a big game, or anything in between those things, that you've already done all the hard work. You know, don't question your ability. You're there for a reason. And so you're just going to go up and do what you know how to do. And be your best you in that moment, and don't worry about anything else. Everything else will take care of itself. And so I just, you know, I moved forward with the don't look at the goalkeeper. I took the ball, I put it down, I never raised my eyes. You know, I got into that comfortable position where, you know, the distance from the ball, and I tapped my toe and I waited for the whistle, and I just struck it as well as I could. every time I see it now, I think, shit, that's way too close to the post. Like, why did you make it so close? But it was remarkable. And I think, to your point about your daughter and, the excitement of that moment, this concept of celebration and the need, the real need of a platform for young girls to express themselves and to, have a moment where they can say, I did that, I think resonates with me more now, 20 something years later, than maybe it did in that moment. But I truly understand that, when I was a young kid, like you said, at the playground, we all hope for that moment. Like I said, I played flag football because I thought I was going to be in the NFL. And so I thought, like, I'm going to make the game changing play, and I would celebrate mildly, but I would watch my brother and his friends like all act like they had just done incredible things. I'm like, who the hell are you guys? Like, why are you so confident all the time? Like, what gives you that? And I feel like that's something that this moment, that picture now hopefully resonates forward for young women and young men, to be honest with you, and anybody who is finding themselves in a moment where they need to know that the good things that they do are worthy of celebrating, because you did that. And you shouldn't be shy about it. You should not demur, and you should just enjoy the moment for all that it has to offer, in not a conceited way, but in everybody enjoy this moment because it's so fantastic. We don't know when it's going to come again. And that's why I think for me, it has lasted so long, and that people come to me literally almost every day and are like, I was at that game.
Wow.
And I listened to the story of where they were sitting in the stadium and why they were there and who they brought and what did it mean to them.
Well, I don't know if you've been on TikTok. Young people are not shy about celebrating themselves, but this is such an iconic celebration. It's so cool that, like, you earned it. Like, you have the moment that people dream about.
We got to get one of those. We got to put it.
You got to call Santa Clara University women at the athletic department. We'll see if we have any.
But you earn the celebration. You have this moment. You think about the celebration. You see your brother and his friends doing the celebration, and then you have one of the most iconic celebration shots ever. Like, we literally have we have Jordan in the air after Elo. These are like iconic celebration shots.
Bronze statue in front of the Rose Bowl. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean,
crazy, man.
did you think about doing this, or was this just like, I can't control myself, I'm losing it? Would you have done it differently?
That's got to be just adrenaline.
No, I've called it before insanity, because honestly, I think this is the beauty of sports, right? These emotional moments. And this is why I feel like, not to get off topic to the question, but where I think technology sometimes is interrupting the real value of what sports bring us. It's like these emotional moments, these roller coaster moments, and why we're invested so heavily in these games is we love the, like, we love those things. And I think that moment was such a combination of every moment I've spent on the field, whether that's, having my ACL reconstructed and then my other ACL reconstructed, or, being the leading goal scorer, or being on the bench and being the first to the sideline with the water. And, whatever it was in soccer, it was giving me so much, and it was providing me with such opportunity that I honestly couldn't have stopped myself from doing that. It was insanity. It was all the relief, satisfaction, joy.
You just become possessed.
Exactly.
You were possessed. I mean, you're in that zone. That's a zone. Like, that's a zone as an athlete we all crave. We crave for that just moment where you can't control.
Yeah.
Have you spoken with anyone from the Chinese team since the battle?
Oh yeah, I actually I helped one of the former players get her green card so she could stay in the U.S. and she's now a coach here in the Bay Area.
Would you have helped if you lost?
Yes, of course.
Sportsmanship,
well, I mean, maybe,
Sam.
Maybe it would have taken. I would have had to take some time to contemplate it, but no. Yeah, no, when we had the first ever women's professional league, the WUSA, we had a few Chinese players. Sun Wen, probably their greatest field player, just phenomenal. Like, you couldn't take the ball off that girl. She's the Steph Curry of women's soccer at the time, and playing against her was just brutal. So we got to play against her here in the U.S. and the players you become friends with these. This is the beauty of international soccer. This is what I really love about the game of soccer, is that the world plays it, the world speaks the same language. Sometimes the tactics are a little different, but we come together. You see these players playing all over the world in different leagues across the world, and you become friends with these folks. And so now you get to go out and compete, which I think makes it even just so much more fun. I think in the beginning, it was literally just countries against countries where we just didn't like each other. And then it became like we really got to know each other. And I think that elevated the game even more.
Time heals everything, a little bit is much, especially a competitor. And you got to tip your hat to the Chinese team, because, ultimately they helped give them the platform to go out and do this unbelievable thing and compete at a high level and end in a Hollywood kind of ending. I mean, PKs. That's so. We're pro U.S. all the way by a million trillion dillion, but you got to tip your hats to Chinese.
Tip your hat.
You keep
absolutely.
Do you and the 99ers, like, do you guys pretty much are you guys like the 72 Dolphins? Like anytime another U.S. team fails or doesn't do well, you guys like hit each other up and like, hey, you guys want to have a glass of champagne? We're still the baddest team of all time.
Well, which one of the Patriots teams was the best? I mean, that would be the question, right?
Yeah.
I would say the team that lost to the Giants in the early
Giants
aughts. Yeah, I think that team was probably the best, and they couldn't get it done. It was tough for them.
This guy's a Giants fan, if you didn't know that. Yeah, so.
Hold on, I have something here.
Are you Niners fan? You have to be.
I am a Niners fan, but I have friends in football and sports all over.
Ooh.
Well, I'm gonna send you a helmet. We're gonna give you a real helmet.
Okay.
A real winning helmet.
I don't know. That's Michael Strahan. That looks like a pretty real helmet to me, buddy.
I know. You had one Super Bowl.
You know what? I have been on the sideline of your Super Bowls, Julian. You didn't know this because I worked for NFL Films and I did a show called Under the Helmet. And I have been on the sideline many times, and then I got pushed by my producers, go talk to the guys. And I'm like, oh my God, they're right in the middle of celebrating this glorious Super Bowl win. They don't want to talk to me. They could care less.
Which one were you at?
Oh my gosh, this is a good question. You're gonna really
please be the Mario Manningham one. This would be perfect.
I've been at a couple of them. So shoot, I'm too old to remember shit like that.
No worries.
Excuse my language. Yeah,
but
I'm a big fan of all of these moments, these big sports moments, because they just help people believe that things are possible. I love it.
Now, we got to end this thing up, but I had to get a couple quick. I'm a new time soccer dad. My daughter, we're second season, at 4, she's 5 now, she's turning 6. When she was 4, it was more of like a class and, they didn't really compete. Now we're competing. I do a couple drills with her. I do the one where
you're the coach? Wait, you're the coach?
No, I'm not the coach. I can't fathom being the coach because I was coached in the 90s and it's a little different with the kids these days. So I have to actually go be behind the fence and cause she get a little nervous if she sees me here and there. But how do I be a good soccer dad?
Gosh, I wish my dad was still alive to answer this question for you, because he actually became my coach when I was, just turning 8. And he was my coach from 8 to 16. He didn't know anything about soccer. We literally went to the library. We got the 4 books they had. We got the 1 VHS tape. And then we became season ticket holders to the San Jose Earthquakes back in the old NASL days. And we just spent time together, learning the details, the rules, he just encouraged me. And then he realized we got to a point where he's like, oh my gosh, I don't know enough to help you anymore. Just, he was always there. I think that was really the main thing. He was there. He showed up. He acknowledged that he didn't know everything about it, but he gave us a place to play. And he was a former Marine, so we knew push-ups, sit-ups, and run around the field in an organized manner. And he loved the idea of team, as Marines, that's like a family thing, right? So, just making it as special and fun as possible is probably the most important thing you can do. Wanting them to be excited about coming to the field. Having a relationship with the ball is probably the greatest gift a coach can give a young player. Encourage them to take risks, make mistakes, fall down. They're going to fall down over the ball. Who can have the most glorious crashes with the ball? Like, that's the only way you're going to get better. And so I would just encourage her to spend time with the ball and her friends, and whatever they want to do with it, awesome.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what I do. I go around LA parks and I see soccer coaches, and this is usually when she's in school, and I poach a couple of the drills. So like we're doing a couple of these ones, we're doing inside taps, and then I just throw the ball, and she always wants to go to this hill part of the grass. I don't know why, because you're not supposed to go there. And I say, you should go there, but you got to bring the ball. You got to bring the ball. And so she just kicks the ball. So that's all we got. I know nothing about soccer. I played like a few years when I was like real young, but that's great advice. I just got to be there, and I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us. What are your days looking like these days?
Oh my gosh. I do a lot of things. I'm sure you probably can appreciate this, Julian. As an athlete, your career only goes so long, right? Because physically you have to be able to perform at the top of the top. And so once I retired from soccer, I was, looking for that next thing that would fulfill and fill the void of not being in the locker room or not being with the team training every day. And that was really tough. And I got into coaching, which I feel like as a player, I was always kind of the coach on the field. And so that's been really great. And I've been working on just, my coaching skills. And my dream is to be a coach of the national team. And whether that's, one of our young national teams or the full national team, I just feel I've been given so many wonderful life lessons through the game that I want to give it back. So that's my dream. So I'm putting it out into the universe, that hopefully one day will happen. But again, like you, I'm sure you have your hand in a lot of different things that are outside your area of expertise of playing football. So for me, I'm working with a startup called City Cheers, which was founded here in Northern California and now is headquartered in Dallas. And we have a consumer app that works in the restaurant and bar space. So if anybody's listening that's in that realm or works in distribution of beer, wine, and spirits, I'm your girl. Come to me. We want to make the Uber of the restaurant and bar space available on your phone.
I have my own whiskey, so I'm going to be hitting you up very soon. BodegaCatWhiskey.com. Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's make it happen.
Let's do it. So wherever you are and whatever restaurant you're in, I want to have those connections.
Love that.
This is fantastic. I think the other thing, I'm working with a friend who actually played football at Cal. He's a local San Jose guy. And he was really struggling with, he had suffered a couple injuries, concussions, and he was suffering with lack of sleep and being in business school. And they had a project, and he created this new pillow. And so I want to help. I'm helping him, invested in, it's called Mummy, MVMI. And we want to get people to really appreciate and really put time and energy, which is funny, into sleeping. And we understand that your next best day starts with your best night's sleep. So we have a pillow that is awesome. It's different than the one chamber pillows of every other type of pillow, which if I asked you, where do you get your pillows or where do your pillows come from? You guys would probably be like, I don't know.
I'm a My Pillow guy,
sure.
not for the pillow itself. I like his politics. I think he's really a wise person. And
Stop. Right.
I like the goose feather pillow. I'm a goose feather
So
pillow. My guy.
no, I
All
really.
right, so-
Is it a good neck support? Because I have a bad neck. I do a temper neck pillow. I need that support. You know.
I want to encourage you to try my pillow.
I'm
sorry. I want to encourage you
Yeah.
to try Mummy, the Mummy pillow,
Okay.
and I want your feedback.
Is it
And
Mummy because you sleep like this?
It's a sleeping ambitiously. You don't have to.
No. Okay.
But if you want to, you can.
Okay.
No judgment here on how
All
you
right.
sleep.
I appreciate that.
And then you have to become an owner of an NWSL team in the Bay Area along with myself and our group here.
I mean,
And then she'll believe.
you got to
It's
believe.
possible.
Are we starting a team?
Yeah, we are.
We're,
Come on.
what team?
And
What city?
NWSL to the Bay. NWSL to the Bay.
Oh, it's just a Bay. Overall Bay.
In the Bay Area right now.
You
We're
gotta
working
be a
on
part
it.
of this.
Got to be a part of it now. I got
I'm,
breaking news. I'm
you're
part of it.
invited.
Brandy,
I'm in.
Brandy, did we miss anything? And also, is there a name? Is there a name for this game that we should call it? Because this is games with names. We got to name the game.
Well, I mean, there's the big debate. The big debate is raging. Is it football or is it soccer? It's soccer. Soccer, baby.
See, that's America right there. Like, see, we're gonna market it our way.
Yeah, I think when in Rome. When in Rome, I say it's football.
That's
but
fair.
Here, it's soccer.
What do we name this actual game though?
This game?
the game that we just
The
talked
99
about.
game?
What's a great
Oh.
name? Because that's we score the games, we name the games, we have
Okay.
a grading scale of these games about star power, everything. Who was at the game, the time of the game. What's the name of the game?
If Julie Foudy were naming this, she'd call it Battle of the Bitches. That's what she'd call it.
I love that.
Done. Battle of the Bitches.
I
I
love
think that's
that.
going to probably
That's-
come out as one of the highest ranked names of the games.
That's killer.
Foudy.
Foudy, she loves that. That would be Foudy. That's an ode to Foudy. That's to my captain.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. It was great talking to you, and this is a great app. Thank you.
So, did I just buy a soccer team?
I mean, hopefully it's not more than like $50K. It's like kids soccer, isn't it?
No.
It's not.
Full professional women's soccer team, I think.
I mean, it's probably a good investment. It's growing sport.
Growing
right?
sport.
Yeah.
Growing sport. We'll see. And I got a little one in it. So, hey, we've all seen like race car teams have their son be a driver of some sort. Maybe, hey, really gets a little roster spot.
That's you know what? Nepotism. Let's
Give
do
Sam
it.
and I a front office job.
Everyone likes that kid.
Hey, it's not how you get there. So you got there, all right.
Hey man, that's that was the pillow. I'm looking forward to trying this pillow. My neck is straight trash. I need a new pillow.
Yeah.
I've tried every fancy pillow. My neck still stinks.
And I want to see her as a coach.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got a crazy image, a lasting image for a lot of women,
Right there.
a lot of girls.
Yeah.
But not just that, but like her story and wouldn't you want to see that as your leader for your team? And we all know she knows soccer,
Yeah.
and she could probably get,
You can just tell. I mean, the passion is. I feel it. Like you got emotional.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And leadership skills. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's pretty documented. She's a leader.
Yeah.
So, and she knows soccer. So I can't wait to
Hire.
see her as the U.S. women's soccer team or football team, as what we call, and the game. What a great game.
I mean, down to the wire. PK.
Scurry with the
Yeah.
block, Lily with the block in the ends or the goal.
Right place, right time. Shades of Jeter. Remember when he was like out of position, gets the ball and flips it?
Yeah,
They get Jeremy Giambi out. Right place, right time.
maybe Jeter's was a shade of Lily's.
Maybe.
You ever think of it like that? Okay, this is a father of a daughter.
Why not?
All right,
Hey, man, you're going to be a soccer owner. LeBron and, Draymond, they're buying pickleball teams. You're going to be women's soccer.
Hey, I'm taking it.
I don't even know what pickleball is, so I'm taking women's soccer.
How about I literally just got a call also by the Boston people that are potentially making something, a women's team. I gotta go with Brandi, right? Gotta go with Brandi. My kid's in California.
Yeah.
How am I gonna use this nepotism?
That's a good
I'm gonna
thought.
fly her out to Boston? No.
Well, it
Can't
sounds like
night.
sounds like you're
for
choosing
dinner.
the Bay Area over old Boston to me.
No.
I don't know.
I want to see you as the Al Davis of women's soccer, bro.
What?
You got to be out there on the sidelines.
Got to get a different haircut.
Full tracksuit.
Full tracks.
I want Julian to get that awful bangs.
over?
You remember that?
That's his son.
What's his name? Yeah.
Mark.
Oh my God, that's rough.
I love Mark. I saw him at Catch Steak.
Why doesn't he change the haircut?
Because he don't give a fuck. That looks like the Raiders owner. Mark was a cool dude.
That is fucking weird. Look at that. No, pull it up. What is going on? It's like not even. It's like the bangs got lazy and went the other way.
I think he pulls it off. I think
You know who he looks like? You know, on 30 Rock, the woman who's marries Will Arnett. That's the haircut. You know, Rip Torn's daughter, the one who Jack's trying to get the company from. No one. You could go side by side in the show.
He kind of looks like Chucky.
A little bit Chucky.
Little Chucky.
Like Chucky aged. It's like the ninth Chucky movie. They're like, he's just like an old doll now. That's the movie.
No, it's like a Pinocchio Chucky. They make like his number one goal is to become human, and then he turns into Mark Davis.
He's just a successful rich guy
Well, you know the
who goes
Davises,
to Supercuts.
No, the Davises, their money's all like they're true football people. They didn't come from money. Al Davis, like
He's got money now, though.
well, it's all in. I mean, yeah, he's got money, but like they're not like notoriously known as like rich owners. There's guys that if they had their like, they would just burn that money if they had like had that with other owners. Like they're real traditional football people. Al Davis started as a coach. Then he bought a team. He started the Raiders, player or coach owner. And that's how it started. Like he wasn't a guy. He kind of like I don't know if he bamboozled, but there was like some kind of crazy thing where he got the team somehow. But shout out to Mark Davis. I'm telling you, I met him. He was a cool dude.
I want to meet him now. And you know what? I apologize about the hair comment. Maybe it was out of line.
No, it was. I mean, hey, he's a confident guy.
You know what? Why am I apologizing? I stand by what I say.
Yeah.
Got a silly hair. Probably still a cool guy. He can have a silly haircut.
Yeah.
I never spend more than $30 on a haircut
What
in my life.
What
You look good.
cool guy has a silly haircut other than him?
Cool guys with Google cool guys with silly haircut. Famous, because we're just gonna get random dudes.
MacGruber?
MacGruber's a character though.
Oh,
What? Who?
John Daly.
John Daly.
But that's actually kind of.
But he's an alcoholic to the point where he's probably just like, I'm not getting a haircut. Yeah, we're just getting random dudes.
Let's see.
they
Ronaldo.
just-
Ronaldo.
I don't like that they put Seth Rogen in there as just a dude. That's anti-Semitic. That's just curly hair. That's not. They just put Seth Rogen and knocked up. That looks fine. He has curly hair. Yeah, Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber. I'll give you. That's a rough.
That's
one.
a tight haircut. By
Have you seen
Shia
Gordon
LaBeouf.
Hayward's new haircut? It stinks.
Gordon,
Pull it up.
Pull it up.
Ugh,
The Friar Tuck.
that's terrible. It's really.
Is it no? What is that? That's like
That is a bad haircut.
That's like some I think I've had that haircut. I'm not gonna lie.
No way.
Something along those lines.
Not. There's nothing along the lines. It's shaved. It looks
No.
terrible. He should be jousting in that haircut.
Nah, I didn't have that one.
No, you didn't, dude. That's a bad.
Yeah, but I don't know. He's trying to do what the kids do.
You should
Right.
be an adult.
What do we got? What else? Let's settle the prop bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, settle the
We
prop.
didn't hit.
Wait, no, I think I was supposed to say suck at China, right?
Yeah, we didn't get it. I think
Did we
got
say
it.
any?
We got it once.
Who
And
said it, me or Julian?
I think it was you.
Yeah, it was tough. It's
was
a tough one to slip in. You say suck it to a woman on camera, you're risking a lot. It's a dicey thing to say.
Yeah, very.
Even if you're saying it to China, you're still saying suck it to a woman.
Probably best the under hit.
Yeah, we're better people for
Yeah,
it.
we are better people.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the legacy of this game? Probably single-handedly has made soccer in the United States way more popular. Literally.
Yeah. I mean,
It hasn't been the men's team.
yeah.
It hasn't been the men's team. Let me say, it has not been the men's team. We've had so much disappointment
Yeah.
with a lot of our men's team. I mean, we didn't even make the World Cup last time. I'm excited for this World Cup going into this. We got a lot of great players playing, overseas, but it wasn't them.
But
it was the women.
Rewatching this made me want to get into soccer because I've never been a huge soccer guy.
You don't play video games. I got in
Are
because
you
of
big
FIFA.
FIFA?
That's how I learned
I
soccer.
play like NBA and Madden sometimes. That's it.
Dude, I'm telling you, FIFA's a fun game.
It is.
It's fun. And then
Yeah.
that's how I learned the teams. My boys all had an EPL team. I jumped on, got one that no one liked, Tottenham Hotspurs. And then, that's how I kind of learned. And then kind of became friendly with Harry Kane. And basically that's how I've started like following soccer.
The soccer and the hockey video games are pretty
Similar.
legit. Yeah.
Similar. It's kind of the same kind of.
I'll be on a tour bus next year, and I have a guy bringing a PS5. We'll have to get our video games on.
Do you now? Is it connected to Wi-Fi, or are you guys playing like straight against each other?
I think we got to go. That's the thing I don't like about modern video games. It's harder to just play against people now.
Nah, who does that? I want to play against. I don't
Against a stranger. It was a bonding thing with a friend. I don't like that now. They're like put in your email, create an account with PlayStation Network. Fuck you.
Too much.
It's too much.
I want to see where I rank in
gameplay.
this world.
Fuck that shit.
I want
dude.
to. I want to be. When
I
I
want to
play,
bond with a friend.
I want to bond with a 12-year-old who whoops my ass in Fortnite.
Just clip it where Julian says, "I want to bond with a 12-year-old." Just cut it right there. Well, you said it.
It's so funny. I'll be teamed up with like a 12-year-old and fucking a shooting game or like a. First off, they shouldn't probably be playing this, but like this little kid's like carrying the team. He's like teaching me all these little like acronyms, like "Hey, bro, AFK." I'm like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
What does it mean?
He means away from keyboard. He's like, "Oh, dude,
Jesus
sorry,
Christ.
man. My mom was yelling at me." Like, I'm like, "Dude, come on, get in there. I've been getting
Is
my
that
ass
good?
killed."
I'm not blaming video games for mass shootings, but I'm sure just 8 straight hours of shooting a person in the face in a game is not. It's not desensitizing.
No,
you.
and it's. I'm telling you, I've had my ass kicked by like 8-year-olds,
Yeah.
maybe 7-year-olds. There's kids that can barely like talk, like they don't even have speech yet, and they can fucking dial you up
Damn.
on these games. But let's get back to the legacy of this.
They
game.
don't know. They don't have a grasp on the English language, but they know how to handle an
I
assault
heard
rifle.
like dad, and like this kid just starts fucking getting like 7-piece kills and shit. I'm like,
Which one? You play Halo or Call of Duty? Which one?
I play Call of Duty, and I'll dip into Fortnite sometimes.
They're fun games. I'm terrible. I don't play a lot because I'm so bad. But I was on the road recently with a few friends, and we just hit up a Dave and Buster's afterwards.
Yeah.
And we're playing like Mario Kart, and I'm like, this is fucking killer.
Yeah.
This is great. But the buttons have become more sophisticated.
No, yeah. That's my take on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up with 2 buttons, maybe 3 if I got to Sega. I didn't have like when you have to use dexterity for 2 buttons. These kids got every finger's got a button, and they grew up on it. Like, so you're naturally going to evolve a better video game player.
It's like sex. When you start out, you just need a couple buttons, but you move on. You need to be able to work different.
You need an
parts.
R2.
You need an R2.
You need an R1, an L1. You need the paddles on the bottom.
Yeah, you need one. Definitely need a paddle on the bottom. The bottom paddles that definitely help.
Get your mind out of the gutter, Sam. What's the legacy of this game?
Yeah, it's it's one of the most important sporting events in American history. I mean, when you
Definitely.
if you think of soccer, is there a bigger game in American history?
Absolutely not.
There you go.
Absolutely not. It's women's sports have grown because of this. It's given little girls, it's given them motivation, and it's given them like a dream that they can go out and chase,
Yeah,
especially in professional sports. And that's huge, especially if you have a little girl, it opens up doors, and that's what these ladies did. The Rose Bowl. This is our
is our 3rd or 4th game? I thought it was our 4th. Our 3rd? All right, yeah. We've done Super Bowl 21 and Super Bowl 27. I mean, look, this is on the wall. As we said to Brandi earlier, she's right there. And that is the lasting image. That's the image of the championship. either the kicking it or I think that's the image.
100%
That's the
sports
image.
bra.
The sports bra.
And I'm glad we got it off the container.
Yeah.
It was lost in the container for years.
That's crazy.
Years.
You can't misplace a piece of sports history like that.
No.
Disrespectful.
And she has a bronze statue in front of the Rose Bowl. Let's see this.
It's just cool to get that moment, to get called up and to deliver. It's pretty fucking badass. And to do with the wrong foot?
Oh, wow. Look at that. That's tight. I'm going to go take a picture with it when I get back.
Man, look at that Lucille Ball one. That's fucking rough in the middle. Jamestown, New York stinks. They really dropped the ball on that Lucille, I Love Lucy one. That is.
Is
that Lucille Ball, an American Werewolf in London? What the fuck happened there?
Sometimes I don't understand why they okay those. Like I've seen some of these buses, like when you go to the Hall of Fame in Canton, NFL Hall of Fame, and you're like, that looks really nothing like him.
Yeah, I mean, some of these cities like Peoria, Illinois.
Don't you have to like if you're the guy getting it done? Don't you have to like
be good?
No, not it. You have to like okay it, right?
I mean, I think it's really expensive to make those things.
Modification,
yeah. But lasting image is the sports bra, no question. Jack, what did we forget, man?
Not a lot. We got a couple here though. Brandi does also have an all-time bad statue to go with her good one. So
a bad one?
Yeah, it's all-time bad one. I'll pull it up here real quick.
What do you mean?
They got her looking like.
That's what?
What?
That is
That's
rough.
not her.
Rooney vibes. Not great.
That is offensive.
We got to get that changed.
She's an attractive woman. What the hell?
I know.
Yeah, that is disrespectful. I would be.
Looks like the coach from Varsity Blues.
John Voight?
Yeah.
I don't want your life.
No.
Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Get in there.
What?
The director is All That and Good Burger.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow. Kyler, look at him. He's just a well of knowledge on film.
I remember that woman comes in covered in whipped cream.
Oh, my. We were like all kids. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
And the teacher's a stripper. Remember that shit?
I gave it a 10. A 10. A fucking 10. I still got one.
It's
Billy
so,
Bob.
It's so nice to be the exact same age.
Tweeter?
Yeah.
You guys want to see
Tweeter.
my new Tweeter what touchdown dance?
Wasn't he the same guy? Did they get the same actor to play him in not another teen movie? Wasn't
it
the same
really
dude?
seemed like it.
It seemed like the same
When
dude.
he's like, Coach said it's
Those
all
were
right to
fun.
bleed
That was a
out your
fun
ear."
movie. Let's name this game.
We also got I got to correct myself from earlier in the episode. This was Golden Goal, in fact. 93 was the introduction of Golden Goal. They phased it out in
Sudden
04.
death. First goal wins in overtime.
Golden goal.
Yep. We also talked about Brandi's big accomplishment in 1999, but I would argue her greater accomplishment came 2 years later. 2001, she beat Seth Green and Stephen Page, the guy from the Bare Naked Ladies, in Celebrity Jeopardy with $1 in Final Jeopardy.
Whoa.
Wow. How do you do that? She bet all one and they missed
I
it?
think they missed, yeah. I got to go back and review the tape.
So she won
Jeopardy
$2 for the
archives.
charity?
She won $1, yeah.
That's rough. Did they even write the check?
I don't know.
That's like
Now
good news. Good news. Cancer research. We got you $1. Like, thanks. We're not going to cash this one. We're good.
still won it though. Still won it.
Still won it.
This is What's the game?
We gotta name it.
Sports bra game. Is it weird? It's weird to call it that.
No.
I mean, that's the picture. That's not the name. The most important women's soccer game of all time. I mean,
Could be that.
That's very American.
What did she say? What did she say? Who said called it the name?
Julie Foudy.
Foudy. She called it the Battle of the Bitches.
That's it.
Got it.
I mean, that's what they call it. It's the Battle of the Bitches.
That's what she wanted us to call it.
Yeah.
So, Battle of the Bitches. Stakes.
Stakes are as high as they can be. It's the World Cup.
World Cup final
Yeah.
against a rival, China. It's got to
Against
be in
a
the
superpower.
9.
I go 9-3, dude. Maybe
9-3.
9-4. Is it? I mean, can they be higher? It might be a 9-6. Is that too crazy?
9-6, and I think so.
All right.
9-6.
I mean, dude. I mean, I don't think we've done anything with higher stakes than this.
We have.
Star power is big, but then you also have to take into account that like Clinton's there.
And then who? Arsenio Hall.
Yeah.
He was there.
At the peak of Arsenio's powers.
Mia Hamm was on the field.
Mia Hamm.
Hillary Clinton. I mean,
Chelsea Clinton.
Chelsea.
I mean, we got a lot.
Was
of
Epstein there?
Sheesh. What
Gotta
about?
take some Clinton slaps. Come on.
I would say a 9-1.
All right, yeah. This is going to be up there. Gameplay. Look, I'm going to take some hits on this. I don't think the gameplay is incredible. I think the finish is incredible. It's a boring fucking game. It's 0-0, dude. I mean, there's some great moments, but I can't go higher than 7-5 on gameplay.
That's very ethnocentric of you, Sam.
What is it? What do you think?
I would say probably like a 7-5.
7-5. All right, we're on the same page.
Do you know what ethnocentric means?
I'm assuming it's something to do with my ethnicity.
No, it means we're, because of the society we've all grown up in as Americans, that we like fast hitting, high scoring matches, and we can't take the beauty and the art of the game and the flow of soccer because we didn't grow up in that particular area of the world. World Studies 2003. That's what I remember.
All right, well,
I would say there was a lot of key moments at the end of the game.
yeah.
You know,
And that's how we get to 7-5, though. I think. I think without that shit,
Lily with that header, Brandi with the slide tackle, because they were getting in transition right there. But we'll go with 7-5.
I think 7-5 is fair. And the
'Cause
name is high. The name is I'm going high in the name because it's one of our best names.
Name has got to be pretty high. I think 8-8. 8-8.
8-8 sounds reasonable. That's a great name.
What do we got overall?
This is going to be one of our highest, dude.
9-6. That's 8-7.
Good job, Jules. What, 8.75?
Yeah.
So where does that rank?
That puts us in
Top 3?
fourth place.
Fourth.
Just ahead of 28-3.
28.
Wow. That's
8.75.
I'm sorry, dude. That 28-3 is a classic.
Right behind the Iron Man match. Bret Hart.
You're
Shawn
offended
Michaels.
by this?
More important than that's all geopolitical.
You know what? I love Shawn Michaels. I love the Iron Man match. This is more important. This is real. This is really.
What are you talking about? Superstars are real too.
Titans Rams is also ahead of it. Game 4 of the AFC.
I want to move that out just because Warner hates me. I want to remove that just because Warner did not take to me.
Yeah, we'll take a special episode to reevaluate all these.
All right, good.
We will have to do a special recap episode. But follow Games with Names on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter with the handle name @GamesWithNames. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to, folks. Wherever you listen to. Rate, review, comment, tell us a game that you want us to do.
And that's all for this episode of Games with Names, sponsored by WynnBET. Thanks so much for listening, and to our great guest, Brandi Chastain. Can't wait to get my mummy pillow. Is that what it's called?
Mummy pillow.
I want my mummy.
And the Uber for alcohol. You got to send her your whiskey, which is...
That's true. Bodega Cat, my whiskey. BodegaCatWhiskey.com. Get on that. I'm Sam Morril.
I'm Julian Edelman, and sorry for the shameless plugs over here at wrong. That's wrong one. Games with Names. We'll see you next time, guys.